What's poppin'? What's going on? This is ShanGO Ray, aka Real Deal Ray, and this is how to do a mirrored box spell. I'm also going to tell you why you would want to do a mirrored box spell or why you may choose to. Okay. Before I get into this very brief tutorial, like, share, subscribe, and thrive. Like, share, subscribe, and thrive. And if I did not mention like, share, subscribe, and thrive, okay? So now that we got the formalities out the way, the inspiration for this, of course, came from several questions actually I got through my email. Admittedly, this is not one of the most popular types of questions that I get, or actually for spell work. This is not like at the top, but I do feel that it's important, and I know that there are some people out there who definitely can use this information. It also corresponds, of course. I'm gonna kind of be blatant with it, but it does correspond. Also, we just dropped a new ritual service that we are offering. It is called Put the Ops in a Box. Ops is, I guess you could say, short slang for opposition. There are some of you out there who have found yourself now currently in a situation where, point blank, you're being fucked with, okay? And for whatever reason, maybe trying to communicate, trying to reason is not working. Perhaps, if you want to handle things physically, um, that's just not a viable option for whatever reason. You might be overpowered, you might be outnumbered, there might be legal reasons for that. Okay, you can't just go and slap the shit out of somebody at your job. I mean, maybe you can, but the effects, the after effects may not be very desirable for you. Okay, you may not know who your assailant or assailants or opposition is. That's another factor. Okay, um, being bullied, being outnumbered. I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to be very thorough here. Being stalked. Maybe there's an ex-lover. Maybe they're not even an ex-lover. Maybe it's just somebody who's stalking you. Okay. All these different things would be a good reason why one would also want to employ the mirrored box spell that I'm about to show you how to do. Okay. Now, there's a lot of different ways and a lot of different variations of this spell. Okay. You can go kind of light with this, or you can go heavy handed with this. It all depends. Us personally, when I'm offering this service, each ritual, each box spell, of course, is catered to the unique situation that you have. Okay. Um, a mirrored box spell is also a good way to exact revenge. Maybe you're trying to find a way to exact revenge, but you're not trying to end up in jail over the situation or incite some type of retaliation from the party that you're exacting the revenge on, and because the get back is real, depending on the situation. And, if you have loved ones that live with you, or whatever the case may be, you also have to think about these things too. Okay. You can't just be a loose cannon and flying off at the handle. You have to think strategically. All right. I always um, advise, suggest thinking strategically, even down to what tool you're going to use, i.e., what ritual, what spell. Okay. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. So that way, if you choose to try this particular method for something, all right, you can do that. So what you're going to need is some form of a box. Okay, it can be cardboard. I would suggest, okay, this is just me, I would suggest using a little wooden box that you can get at a craft store such as Michael's or Joann's or whatever. I don't know what kind of craft stores you got where you're at, but you can find something like this. Obviously, this is a coffin because you know we're in September and we're getting close to Halloween, my favorite holiday. It to me is not a holiday, but it's just my favorite time of year. It's one of my favorite times of year, and so obviously there's a plethora of coffin boxes. If it wasn't Halloween, you could still find these anyways online, eBay or Amazon. But the point is, get a little box, okay? Now at these craft stores that I mentioned, they sell bags of little mirrors and they come in different shape, okay? So what you're going to want to do is get some of these mirrors. And when you open them though, you're going to want to be sure to turn them around. So the mirror face is, I mean, if you take the mirror, okay, me, I cleanse my mirrors, either I fumigate them or I do whatever because I want things to be clear, okay? What you want to avoid though, when you get this little pack of mirrors, whatever the shape is, I'm going to show you these, but I'm going to just kind of be brief with it. I'm not going to be opening this too much because this does have a name on this. Okay, I mean, there's no physical name on it, but yeah, someone's going in here. All right, and so I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Now, as you see, I don't want, I'm just going to do it kind of fast, okay? But you see different types of shapes, all right? So when it's closed, whatever is in this box will be surrounded by mirrors. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, think about what a mirror does, first of all. A mirror reflects, okay? It reflects. Um, Magically speaking, if you will, mirrors also amplify shit, okay? They amplify them. Another use for a mirror could also be a portal, but we're not going, that's different. We're going to not get into that here, okay? But so first and foremost, you want to avoid looking into any of the mirrors that you will be placing in the box. So don't take the mirror and stare in it and then put it in the box, okay? Because it does kind of capture some of your ashe, your chi, your whatever you want to call it when you look into it. All right. So you don't want to look into any of the mirrors as best as you can. If you do, take it and break it and use another one. Okay. So once you get the box all lined up with mirrors inside, what you're going to need to do next is you're going to need to create an effigy or a symbol of your opposition. And so for this tutorial, I'm known for I use playing cards to make poppets. You can make a poppet out of a piece of paper if that's all you have. Okay. I.e., I took the first couple cards that come in a deck of new cards. Uh, there's usually one that just has some bullshit on it. Yeah, I took one and made an effigy of that. Okay, so here they are. Okay. Now there's some things having to do with this. This is a very important part, making the effigy, because you got to consecrate this effort. It's not enough just to cut something out and just think, okay, now it's this person. Like, you have to do certain things to consecrate this. What I mean by consecrate this is you're actually, through the use of your mind, your focus, and your energy, you are actually, I guess you could say the best way is you're capturing just, I'm going to use a Taoist term in Chinese sorcery. When you're creating an effigy, they believe, or it is it has been said that you're actually taking a little tiny piece of their soul, and that's what that is. So, and I'm gonna use another term, a Jamaican term, old school term, a mickle make a maku, okay, and a mako make a mickle. A little can make a lot, just like a lot and sometimes just make a little. Okay, so that's what we're doing here with this effigy. I'm going to tell you about consecrating this right now. But the other thing about the mirrored box spell is it can very much so act as a reversal work. So we are offering this also as a form of protection, but sometimes you have to reverse shit to protect it. Okay, think about a keto. You're using the attacker's own force against themselves. You're turning it against themselves. So in essence, that's also the thought process behind a reversal. You're taking it and you're reversing it. In this case, you would be taking the effigy, and I mean, you could take the effigy, tie its little fucking hands up, and tie its feet up, and do whatever else you want to it. And I'm probably getting ahead of myself because it is fucking late. I'm tired as all hell, but I got to get this video out for you because I promised you, okay? So, where was I at? um, Anyways, as I was saying, it does also act as a reversal spell, okay? So, in essence, if you want to trap and contain the enemy, i.e., the box, and trap them with and reflect their bullshit back onto them. So it's like you're doing 2 or 3 or 4 different things at once with one spell, which is why I like it. Okay? Then you want to do a motherfucking mirror spell. All right? That's what you want to do. Okay? So, focus. All right? Let's get back to the effigy. Okay? So, example one. Let's say my mind's going crazy because I can hear all the questions that I'm going to get, and I try and be preemptive as possible and answer as many as possible. That's why I'm seeming kind of scattered right now. But let's just say you know who the person is, you know their name, maybe even their birth date. You could take this effigy number one, um, and you can write the name and the birth date on here, okay, if you knew it. If you can get a hold of a picture, even better. I would include the picture or attach it to the effigy if possible. Okay? If all you have is a picture, if you don't have a picture and you just know the name, or let's say you don't know the name, because there's some of these cases that I get with people who are under attack and there might be multiple people involved. There's the person who's paying for the attack, and there's the person who's executing the attack. Okay, in a case where, like, let's say a sorcerer is being employed to do something to you, okay, that you don't know about, and you don't know who the fuck this guy is or girl is, and you have an idea who the assailant might be. At the very least, you can make an effigy like this and just write enemy on it or opposition on it. Okay. Now, there's a lot of, like I said, I know there's a lot of different situations. Sometimes, many times, there's situations where there's multiple people against you. Okay. Theoretically, if you know the names of each person, let's say like it's at a job. So you know the boss, you know the manager, and you know maybe another employee, and they're all buddy buddy, and they don't like you. Now, for this ritual, you can include all of them in this box. Okay. What this is not, though, and I'm speaking as far as the way that we are offering, what this is not, let me just take a brief moment for this. This is not a death spell. This is not a breakup spell. Okay. However, it can be used for revenge, I said, or reversal. Oh, you fucked me, now I'm gonna fuck you, type of thing, okay? Or maybe the way that somebody's fucked with you is continuing to affect you. So you want to be through with this, you want to just boom, contain it, at the same time, send it back and be done with it. Okay? So we're already at 14 minutes, so I'm gonna hurry this up. So for you guys, okay? So you get the effigy. You can anoint the effigy by spitting alcohol on it. I like to spit alcohol and blow tobacco smoke and run it through a candle flame, you know. And as I'm doing this, I'm definitely focusing. I'm seeing this person. Um, and I'm also proclaiming and I'm knowing as I say it that it's right, all right, wise, and exact. Okay, it's done. So what I do is I just say so and so, you know, and mind you, it doesn't hurt to get into a bit of a meditative state before you do this. Okay, but you do either one of these, all of these. Okay, I also sometimes will use my charcoal burner and use certain herbs that correspond, with this. I might burn some calamus root or some other things too. Run him through the smoke. Okay, you are now baptized. Sometimes you can even dip it in water or take water and just sprinkle it as if it's being baptized. Okay, and then you can say, and you can pronounce, you can proclaim, you can assert that Dick Face, this is now you. Okay, and now I have a piece of you in my possession, which is connected to the all of you. And I'm going to do XYZ. So in that case, then you would do with what you want. If you want to bind, if let's say you're trying to stop somebody from something, okay? Let's say you have somebody who's got money and their business is doing unfair practices, but you can't prove it, but they are affecting you and they're doing things and they have more resources, they got more people, and they keep, a lot of times it's like you can spend your time trying to put out the little fires or you can cut the head of the snake off, okay? So let's say you want to contain the snake. So what you would do, you can take the effigy and you can bind its hands, tie them up. You can get a pin and stick the pin, of course, with your intentions into certain chakra points or do whatever the fuck you want to it, actually. You know, this would be the time that you put that emotion, that frustration, that anger, that whatever into this doll, okay? Into the effigy. If you don't have playing cards, as I mentioned, just to backtrack, you can use paper. You can get two sticks and tie them together, okay? It doesn't have to be a complicated process. You don't have to be a master craftsman. It doesn't have to look like a piece of art, okay? That's not what it's about. All right. Now, if you are good and you can get it to kind of look pretty close to what your assailant is, the more the better. That's cool too. All right. Once you have your effigy and you done did all that, you consecrated it, you done made it, and to yourself, you're making it. This is that person right now. To anybody else, they'd say this is a playing card cut out in a figurine, but this is that person right now. This is them. Okay. So you do what you're going to do. And I'm giving you a rough outline only because, like I said, this can go so many ways and you can do so many things, okay, with this. So now it would be time you put them in the box. I just put them in the box, okay? I would seal the box. I'm gonna let him out though because, as I said, this is a working or is about to be a working box, so I don't want to do too much with it. I would put this effigy in the box. I'd seal it up, wrap it up, okay? Now, what you do with the box from here is going to vary from person to person, practitioner to practitioner. Me, myself, what I'm offering for my clients or my future clients who do need the service, who do need the protection, and who also want some get back or want to be able to contain or make this person, to trap this person in their own bullshit, okay? You can bury this. Me personally, what we will be doing is taking this out to my graveyard that I got. And it's not my personal, like I have one in the backyard, but it's my graveyard. I call it my graveyard because that's where I leave all my work. And what I would do first of all, and this is, I'm giving you the ShanGO version. You don't even actually necessarily have to bury it. It's just that's what I feel to do for this. That's definite. That's going to be a constant for everybody, is this. But what you do is you would take this out to a graveyard. Okay, now before you go in the graveyard, obviously you need leave 9 pennies in before. It's kind of entrance fee, respect to the dead. So you go in, you I and I can only tell you, like, I can't give you one set way because, like I said, there's so many things. You can also put something in a box. I can go buy a scorpion or something, put that in a box, buy a spider, put him in a box, shake him up, make sure the spider fucks with this thing. I can put different things. I can put different herbs. Okay, I could. I mean, the list goes on, man. The list just goes on of what you can do. You're not limited. You're only limited by your imagination. Okay, getting back, because I do want to keep this as brief as possible. What I'm going to do, and this is something you could do, all right? Maybe you can do. Some of you can do. Some of you aren't confident enough, and I know you're not going to, but you can just kind of keep this, stash it somewhere in your house or away from your house, actually, because if this is somebody you kind of just want to trap, bind, and whatever, then you're going to want to take it somewhere and you're going to want to bury it. Okay. And to me, there's no better place to bury something like this than the graveyard. So, as I mentioned, I would pay my way into the graveyard. I would begin to walk around the graveyard, announcing who I am and asking who wants this work, who wants to help me complete this, blah, 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 blah. And I would quiet down. And for me, it happens in a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's a little bit different, but I would be led to a particular grave. I would probably do a divination there. Okay. Being that I'm in a graveyard at night, I would probably do a very quick divination, like with 3 coins. Okay. 2 heads is a yes, 2 tails is a no. All right. And I like to do best 2 out of 3 just to be sure I'm hearing you right. Okay. But I would make my way around the graveyard announcing who I am and what I want. I'm looking for work. Who's going to continue to fuck this guy up for me? Also, I would more than likely bring some whiskey or some rum, a dime or some pennies, depending. You can actually use any type. I mean, it's not just a dime. I've used quarters before, When I find the right one, the right place, when the right one says, hey, yo, I'll take that, I will bury this right by them. Okay. I would also pour whatever alcohol I have around. I would also create a little hole and I pour the alcohol in there. And then last but not least, I dropped a dime. Some people do it differently. Some people have like a funeral. Some people have all that, depending on how I'm feeling. And just, I do a lot. I kind of like improvise. I have an outline or a structure. And within that, I have room to improvise. I have room to allow the spirit to guide me to what I need to do or whatever. I allow my spirit to guide me and to the right spirits. Okay. So that would pretty much complete that. Okay. And then shortly after that, more than likely, if you did it correctly, you will notice the absence of your enemies. You will also notice them starting to have problems, which will inhibit them from fucking with you. And the list can just go on and on and on. You would be amazed and surprised. Okay. But that is what a mirror box spell is. That is why you'd want to do it. And that is how you do a mirrored box spell. So if you want more information, check the link below. That will lead you to the page. You will find all the information that you need for this brand new ritual that we are unfolding. For those who need it, and as I mentioned before, I don't expect it to be, one of our most popular or whatever, but that doesn't decrease its necessity of being offered, because somebody, maybe you, are the one who really, really needs it and who will really, really benefit from it. What will you get from it? Obviously, you will get your peace of mind back. Ain't nothing knocks somebody out of homeostasis worse than when they're under attack, especially when it's people fucking with you, whether it's bullies, whether it doesn't matter what it is, okay? Could be shit from the internet, people on the internet, somebody cyber fucking with you, okay? You can use it for that too, all right? So the reasons why are innumerable, damn near, okay? But if you want to protect yourself, sometimes you do have to protect, you got to get proactive, all right? So come to www.shango-ray.com, or matter of fact, just hit the fucking little arrow there on one of the sides so you can see the description box. The link will be right there. And if you are one of those who need this type of work for you, now I do want to mention this last thing. It doesn't hurt to know how to do some goddamn divination on some shit, okay? This is not a divination tutorial. Divination is a skill. Everybody can do divination, but it's a skill set, okay? It's just like, boxing, playing basketball, or learning to crochet real good. It's a skill set, okay? And you learn by doing it and by practicing, okay? Now, in my opinion, for certain situations, it's almost, I don't know, it's mandatory that you do divination, especially when the your opposition is unknown, and especially if there is sorcery involved. It is very important to do divination on what you're doing, on who you're doing it to. Okay, so that's what I have for you tonight, today, this morning. You hear that train in the background? Somebody's going somewhere. Okay, where are you going, and what's stopping you? All right, put the ops in a box. This is ShanGO Ray. Peace and blessings to you.